Would like to pay my respects to the spirits of the land where it is grey and overcast and freezing and normal. Normal Tassie weather. So, welcome to Tuesday, the 2nd of September. All right, I'm just waiting for it to do its thing. I wonder if it's going to work today. Like, what do I have to do for this thing to work? That would be awesome. All right, so we currently have the moon in Sagittarius. All right, so it is now there is a fleeting grand trine around this morning. So um the words I wrote on the fly this morning, but mostly I just want to say that the morning is way lighter in feeling than the afternoon. All right, so once that moon moves into Capricorn at 11:45, then that's when things start to get serious. All right, so the morning we have the moon in Sag, trine Mercury uh in Leo. All right, so Mercury is now at the 29th degree of Leo. So it's one of those days where we get to have a look back. And Mercury has been in Leo since the 27th of June. All right, so it's been a considerable amount of time with that retrograde where he hasn't been in the greatest of conditions, you know. So the last couple of months, June, July, so July, August, so basically like over 2 months, we may not have felt like we've had our wits. You know, I've been talking about that, you know, the tradie without his tools. So, you know, in that fall placement, Mercury just wasn't functioning as well as he could be. Anyway, tonight, 11:30 p.m., granted, pretty late. Um, he goes into his home sign of Virgo. All right, so I reckon tomorrow we're all going to be able to connect in with those thoughts. All right, so today in the morning up until 11:45, get the fun stuff done. It's like you get permission to eat dessert first. All right, so now I got up and I made myself train because I haven't got back into my habits, my daily habits and routines. All right, so sometimes you've just got to push yourself to do things. Now, that's what I was saying. There is a fleeting grand trine between Mercury at 29 of Leo, Chiron at 26 of Leo of Aries, and the moon currently at 28. So once that moon moves, that grand trine just completely dissipates. And even though it's wide as far as Chiron's concerned, it's more about recognizing what are the things that you need to be doing so that you can be proud of yourself, Mercury in Leo, and both healthy and well. You know what I mean? Like there's that Aries, where, or the Chiron in Aries. What is it that you need to be doing so that you are having all of those healing opportunities come your way? Now, they could be very vast. You know, that moon in Sag could have you realizing, like, have a new sense of understanding. Maybe, you know, maybe you're going on adventures. Maybe you're realizing what it is you're actually passionate about. It is a fire grand trine. So, yeah, anyway, basically, permission granted this morning to just have a little bit more less dedication, a little bit more fun this morning, all right? Because, like I said, as soon as that 11 o'clock or that 11, say 11:30, all right? Because, but the moon is going to be square Saturn and Neptune between the hours of 11:30 till 2. So that's the chunky bit where you get to, you know, in the quiet dark spaces, you know, there's a lot of mature thinking. All right, so have the fun first, knowing that you've got shit to do as the day progresses. All right, let me, it's not working, so let me click and see who's here. Oh, look at everybody. Good morning, Louise, Barbara. Hello, Alicia. Good morning, Paulette, Sean, and Mikkel. Thank you so much, and so nice to see you here. All right, so now that Sagittarius moon up until 11:45 is being ruled by Jupiter, all right? So Jupiter is now trine the nodes and sextile the south node, all right? So we are recognizing those opportunities. So like I said in the words, which like I said I wrote on the fly, did I say good morning, Helen? Good morning, Helen. um, All right, so any plans that need discipline and concentration put off until after lunch. And even then, you may find yourself pondering the past, and maybe this is exactly what you need. With Mercury at 29 degrees and Saturn now retrograde in Pisces, we're trying to figure out what loose ends need to be tied up. And then at 2:30 p.m., we have the moon goes in conjunct to Uranus in Gemini. All right, so maybe that pondering between 11:30 and 2 might give you those realizations. All right, so the Jupiter Sag is much more joyous. All right, which direction am I going? That pondering allows you to connect in with what direction, what is something meaningful to you. All right, what is some sort of higher thought process that you connect in with that you feel is going to take you down an appropriate path. All right. Then, when the moon goes into Capricorn, it is then ruled by Saturn. All right. Now, Saturn isn't making any direct aspects to anything else. However, there are things making aspects to it. So, the faster moving planets are connecting with Saturn, but Saturn is still in that minor grand trine. The Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto. It's still there. They're all separating aspects, but it's still quite potent. However, with Saturn now in Pisces, all right, this is that final opportunity that we get to give form to the formless. All right, we are maturing spiritually, and we are also releasing any fantasy. All right, yes, there is going to maybe be some emotional stresses with that moon square Saturn Neptune. However, all right, it is a great opportunity because we have moved forward, we have done that charge retreat stuff. What are these subconscious narratives and foundations? What are these maybe still delusional beliefs that we hold around those stories that we tell ourselves? All right, because Saturn just wants us to have a stable spiritual foundation for us to move forward, on our purpose and our authentic path. All right, so again, with the effort, the reward for the effort. So now that Saturn's in Pisces and retrograde, you're going to feel like you are rewarded, or you're making headway when it comes to doing this work. All right, and you know what I mean, that subconscious, subliminal, hidden spiritual narrative that we tell ourselves. It's time to do the work again inside. All right. So now, blah, blah, blah. Let me click the button again. Okay. Good morning, Karen. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll have to have a one-on-one, Karen, just to make up the stuff. All right. So, all right. Now, with that square to the Saturn Neptune, Mercury is also in conjunct that Saturn Neptune, all right? So we are questioning our motives, all right? So again, with we might be hanging out in the past, which is totally fine. Like if you are pondering and daydreaming your experience today, then that might be the right place for you to hang out. So please don't put too much pressure on yourself. Again, that moon in Capricorn is free floating at the moment. All right. So, maybe these are the realizations that you do need to connect with. So when everything starts moving again, Mercury comes back online tomorrow. We can analyze what we got out of our pondering session, and even that like I said, that Uranus in conjunct at 2:30, that deeply feeling into our experience while Mercury's been in Leo since the 27th of June, maybe the last couple of months, with you not feeling like you have been at your best. Maybe you can connect in with those stories, which are the ones that are dragging you down. You never know. So, yeah, time to tie up loose ends. All right. That's pretty much, I feel like a pretty good sort of narrative of the day, like us, I'm sorry, I'm hearing Deborah go, what's our action plan? All right, so ponder the morning, do the good things, go for a walk, have some fun. Maybe, I don't know, like I said, I got up and trained, I'm going to go for a walk, to get those outwardly things done, because we do have that nice grand trine connecting in with the moon and Chiron. All right, so do the things that are going to make you feel like you are energized. All right, we're looking at that Sag, got to have a bit of fun, and then we are also, being able to incorporate that physical and spiritual purpose. So then after lunch, there's some more serious vibes coming through. Between 11:30 and 2, we've got that square. There may be discomfort, but the more that you are prepared, the less the shock of rushing around a corner is. All right, so allow yourself to just daydream, if you have to. Again, with that Mercury in conjunct the Saturn Neptune, it's about questioning our motives. Saturn back in the subconscious, we are able to see what those delusional motives may have come from. All right, so let's draw a card. We are doing the Dreamweaver today. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to Mercury coming back online. Oh, okay. And what card is going to be perfect? Oh, this one. This one here. Ooh. All the shoes fall from the sky. Oh my God, how fabulously Leo is that? Although it does look like it's a stinky shoe. It looks like it's got a skunk tail there. And there's some green vibes wafting up there. I wonder, I mean, that is very Pisces, isn't it? I wonder if this is Saturn in Pisces finding out what the stink is. I like that. I actually really like that analogy. All right, that is also card number 21. All right. Okay. All right. So, waiting for the other shoe to drop, expectations of failure as a mean of self sabotage, fear of success, and not trusting good fortune. Sometimes, when good things are presented to us, we keep our guard up because we're still expecting the worst to happen. We exaggerate our fears, or we get triggered and begin to speak about what is missing, what does not work, or what could go wrong, or why we shouldn't attempt something. Maybe we genuinely want something but push it away, rationalizing that we won't get it perfect. This mindset is actually a way to exert control over an outcome. You can neither fail nor succeed when you keep yourself suspended, staring at the proverbial shoes falling from the sky. It is easier to remain in stasis than to risk and move on to your dreams or take action to build something better. This card gently tells you it's time to shift your thinking. In conjunct to Uranus in Gemini will do that. All right, nothing will ever be perfect, and then there will always be shoes dropping here and there. That's life. If you don't step forward towards your dreams, you will regret it. So summon your courage, and the dream weavers will weave their magic of protection around you and shower you with love. And all the shoes may fall from the sky, but in some other universe, not yours. Oh, I love that. I love that. All right. There is a couple of these aspects that aren't at their greatest sort of degree. That 29-degree Leo, been there for such a long time. Saturn moving back into Pisces, and our questioning and our motives and beliefs may have us finding where our stinking thinking lay. I love that. I love that. All right, so be on the lookout for stinky shoes in your life today. And ask yourself, where did that belief come from? Because you may just be able to shift that perspective after a period of pondering. So I hope that you do find things that that, you know, that you can transform in your moment. So let me just click the button one more time. And yeah, that's it, ladies. I hope you all have an amazing day. Don't be hard on yourself. You know, Saturn in this space is a little more empathetic. He's not happy about it, but he can understand the need for you to challenge your beliefs, and he will support you for the work that you do. So, massive love. Mwah! I will see you guys all tomorrow, and I hope you have a fabulous day.